Hi, sixth grade. We're going to go through Thinking It Through, pages 223 and 224, so grab your books. Number 1, your friend Tracy has a widow's peak hairline and her oldest brother, Joe, does not. How could this be true since Joe and Tracy's parents both have a widow's peak? Draw Punnett squares to help you explain the possible dominant and recessive traits of Joe and Tracy's parents. So let's jump over to the board and look at that. Oh, if you were here at school, it's time for lunch. Okay, so looking at our widow's peak, I did it in 2 different colors this time just because it was capital W, lowercase double, hard to see the difference. Capital W is our widow's peak and lowercase w is our no widow's peak. So we're going to go ahead and fill out our Punnett square. We know because there is a child with no widow's peak, they must have had a dominant and a recessive. So that means we're going to have dominant and then recessive and then dominant and then recessive. So we're going to go ahead and fill out our square here. So capital, 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 and then lowercase. And then we're going to have capital and then lowercase. And then this one is going to have 2 lowercases. Remember, I'm pulling it from here and from here. Okay, so they were wanting to know why Donald has, Joe does not have a widow's peak. So we can look here and see that no widow's peak is lowercase, lowercase, and we do have one of those. So that means we have a 1 out of 4 chance of having a child without a widow's peak, which is why he ended up that way, or 25% chance. So let's jump back over. Let's see that in words. So Joe and Tracy's parents must have both had that genotype, so 1 dominant, 1 recessive, and which caused them or allows them to have the widow's peak or have a child with that widow's peak. So lowercase, lowercase. And that's how we would describe it. All right, number 2. A series of crimes had been committed. A hair was found at the crime scene and some blood was found at a different crime scene. Investigators determined that the same person was at both locations. Explain how investigators could use those clues to reach that conclusion. So what they would do is they test the DNA of both the hair and the blood. All the cells in a person's body have the same DNA, which we learned about earlier in this chapter. So if the hair and the blood have that same DNA, then they know it belongs to the same person. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, number 3, why is Mendel called the father of genetics? And we already probably know this answer off the top of our head, but let's just look at it real quick. So his experiments, Mendel realized that genes determine many physical characteristics or traits, and those traits are passed on from generation to generation. He realized that some traits could be hidden in one generation but expressed in the next generation. Alrighty, and number 4, so explain why genetic engineering can be both helpful and harmful. So it is used to treat genetic diseases but not cure them. So it can be used to provide treatments for diabetics, hemophiliacs, and burn patients. It can provide food for more people by making plants and animals better able to tolerate heat and drought or be resistant to disease. However, it can also cause unexpected problems such as allergic reaction or other health risk. Plants that produce their own insecticides might also kill off some beneficial insects. Whoops, you can't see it. Let's try that again. All right, and then research is expensive is the other way it's not so helpful. If you have any questions about any of these, please reach out to me and let me know.